Salute to everybody that's gonna be watching this stream, whether it be here live or on the replay. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and share these videos on your social media platforms. Let's get down to business. So, according to reports, CNN is going to be asking some of its high-paid staff due to the awful ratings that it has been receiving. Now, look, CNN's credibility has been in the tank for years now, and this is just the latest installment. When you notice that some of the on-air talents that has been released over the recent years, such as Donna Lemonade, uh, Chris Cuomo, we all know about the scandal about how he tried to help his brother cover up some sexual misconduct allegations against him. His brother was the former New York governor Andrew Cuomo. You had the sex scandal at CNN involving Jeff Zucker and an executive, Alison Golas. So, along with, who can ever forget the launch of CNN Plus, and then when some new CNN executives took over, they end up canceling CNN Plus. And Mike Wallace, who was a new acquisition from Fox News at that particular time, was supposed to be the face of CNN Plus, but instead it was grand opening, grand closing. So CNN has been taking a whole lot of hits over the recent years as far as its credibility. And a report just came out saying that CNN is planning to axe some of its high-paid staff after dismal election ratings that cap off a disastrous period for the cable news network. According to explosive news report from Puck, network executives will unleash sweeping layoffs in a bid to save the network's flailing reputation. It comes after the departure of stalwart Chris Wallace and amid reports that senior staff stars like Wolf Blitzer and Jake Tapper have both been denied raises. There's no mention of who may be on the chopping block. The highest paid CNN personalities include Anderson Cooper, who makes $20 million a year, Aaron Burnett, $6 million a year, and Caitlin Collins, $3 million a year. In the next few months, CNN will implement another round of layoffs that will impact hundreds of employees across the organization. Reporter Dylan Byers wrote last week, referencing CNN's recent 100-person layoff seen over the summer. The fresh round of firings, the insider said, will be geared towards the production side of things. As a result, reporters and correspondents will be required to cover their slack, they said, describing how on-air workers will be asked to assume more of the responsibility once handled by teams of producers and production assistants. Redundant assignments will be nixed, and various divisions will be reduced or even eliminated. Some of the on-air talent are also likely to be affected. Now, sources spoke to the reporter who worked at CNN for 3 years before founding Puck, added that how the looming layoffs are part of an overarching plan, one that puts a premium on the station's digital platforms. The man behind it, they said, is none other than new CEO Mark Thompson, the former New York Times boss brought in to overhaul the network under its Warner Brothers Discovery parent. The old BBC boss, and that's the British Broadcasting Channel, so get your goddamn minds out the gutter, filled the position left by then languishing leader Chris Lick this past August. That was another thing that happened, right? Because Chris Lick was there like a year. He tried to make the network more far right. And who could ever forget that disastrous interview or the town hall that Donald Trump did with Caitlin Collins, and he just completely ran over her. And since Chris Lick has been let go this past August, ratings have fallen more than 20%. Under Lick, a tenure that lasted more than a year, fell from being the most watched cable news network on election night to one of the least. In 2016, when it was headed by since ousted leader Jeff Zucker, it was the most watched network overall, a distinction that's now held by Fox. At the time, CNN had averaged over 13 million viewers in prime time. Today is only around 800,000. My, how the mighty have fallen. Right-wing leading Fox hosts Laura Ingraham, the Desperate Housewives reject, Jesse, I'm a stupid motherfucker Waters, Sean Clancy, and Greg Gutless, or Gutfeld, meanwhile, are averaging 2.8 million viewers in the same time slots. The most in a field that is currently being affected by streaming and other forms of media. Adding insult to injury was CNN struggles on election night, a date that 8 years ago would have seen it score a decisive ratings victory. However, following a Trump presidency and a turn from the Biden administration, it lost to BSNBC in terms of ratings, something never seen before, as it only drew 5.1 million ratings on that of eyes that night. MSNBC, meanwhile, raked in 6 million viewers, a number eclipsed by Fox News almost twofold to the tune of 10.3 million. The numbers aired this week in the form of Nielsen statistics appeared to show a shifting field when it comes to cable news, one seemingly set to continue with Trump's second term in office. To combat this, CNN plans to create positions that will service Thompson's new digital-first vision, the unnamed insiders told buyers, with one source posting how the incoming changes may even yield a net gain of employees. Still, the insiders warning proving true. If it proves true, hundreds of others will lose their positions, describing to buyers a climate that will outfit Manhattan office rift with stress and high anxiety. The firings are set to come within the next few months, not offering any more detail. Who will be affected remains to be seen. Now, it was revealed on Monday that longtime host Chris Wallace would not have his $8.5 million a year contract renewed, with the 77-year-old confirming the development in an interview with the Daily Beast as he pondered a full-time podcasting career. As for other high-paid figures like Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett, their fates remain uncertain. Now, days earlier, the Anchor had reported that Tapper, that's Jake Tapper, and Wolf Blitzer were denied raises, and that officials were mulling a pay cut for Wallace. Well, that would explain why Chris Wallace is leaving. He don't want to take no damn pay cut. Now, the newsletter also revealed how Tapper was instead resigned to a 3-year contract, one that would see him paid the same $7 million annual that he had earned in years past. So, look, these clowns ain't starving. And you know, another thing, too, that isn't being talked about is, look, their reputation has taken a hit because one thing I notice about these mainstream media outlets, they don't like telling the truth. And a lot of times when they do decide to tell the truth, it'd be one-sided, it'd be so biased, and a lot of people are just not going for that, right? A lot of people are listening to other media outlets when it comes to getting their news. They're just not watching the mainstream news outlets anymore, like your MSNBCs and your ABC News and CBS. They're just not listening to them anymore because they don't have no credibility. All they do is sit up here and put out false information, lie by omission, and then prop up whoever they want to prop up. Because if I said this once, I said it 1,000 times, the news outlets are the enforcement arm of white supremacy, and on top of that, they're not in the business of telling you the truth. They are in the business of shaping your mind to get you to think how they want you to think. What's up, Alex? Hey, Ron. Because, again, these media outlets don't show you what you're supposed to see. They show you what they want you to see. And again, it's in the business of mind control. A lot of people are waking up to the con. A lot of people are waking up to the scams, right? We've seen that these media outlets was trying to, you know, do whatever they can to get you to vote for Kamala Harris, and look how that turned out. They tried to paint Trump as the enemy, and look how that turned out. Now, again, I don't want nobody thinking that I was some Trump supporter, because I'm not. I'm just giving you the idea of what was going on. I didn't vote for any one of these clowns. As far as I'm concerned, they're both no good to the black society. Neither one of them, Trump nor Kamala Harris. So, as far as I'm concerned, whoever wins, we lost anyway. What's up, Crawford Experience? So these guys is getting paid all this exorbitant amount of money just to do what? And now these media outlets are turning into, sports debate shows and all that. Where you have this round table, right? Who gotta forget the one CNN show with Abby Phillip, right? And Michael Eric Doofus and Nancy Mace, who ever forget that viral thing, right? When they were trying to get Nancy Mace to pronounce Kamala Harris' name right and all that, and all of a sudden, this girl goes back to Congress and exposes Michael Larry Doofus for being all up in her DMs and all that, being all up in her text messages and shit. But nevertheless, right? So they're trying to be everything to everybody, and then in the process, they lost the identity. Now, when Jeff Zucker was begging his executives, that is his subordinates, over the table or under the table, in the shower, in the bathroom, and all that, carrying on raucous, steamy, sweaty, grown-up undressing sessions, while in the meantime they were having their own set of affairs going on, the network was running great. People were looking forward to looking at Chris Cuomo. People were looking forward to looking at Don Lemon, right? But when you got scandal after scandal after scandal, and you're not reporting the news, and you putting out hit pieces on people, and you're having all this other stuff going on, this is why your credibility goes down the toilet. So it remains to be seen who gets let go. I know one name Trump is looking forward to getting rid of. That's on CNN, is Jim Acosta. Now, Jim Acosta really made a name for himself during the Trump years, especially around the time when Trump and his surrogates and other Foot Clan members were trying to get Jim Acosta booted from the White House. But Jim Acosta eventually made his way back to the White House. He was the White House correspondent before he got moved to the anchor desk. So maybe he's one of the names that goes. Maybe the fact that Wolf Blitzer or Jake Tapper didn't get pay raises, they might get a hair up their ass and they might leave and go somewhere else, right? Anderson Cooper, if they're gonna be saving money, he's getting paid $20 million a year. Well, they might cut bait with him and he might go podcasting, because a lot of these guys who leave CNN end up podcasting, like your Donna Lemonade and your Chris Cuomo. He ended up on News Nation alongside Bill O'Reilly. So we'll see what happens with this. And you guys let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I'm going to come back in here a little bit later on. We're going to talk some basketball, because I noticed a trend in the NBA. And the season, with the NBA Cup starting tonight on Tuesday night, November the 12th, the day after Veterans Day, that we got all kinds of players, key players I might add, already out. And not only they're out for a significant period of time. So I'm gonna come back here later on and we're gonna discuss why there's so many injuries in the NBA already. We haven't even hit Thanksgiving yet, and we already got key players out for a significant period of time. So be on the lookout for that video. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Tekashi Snitch 9 got sentenced to more prison time. So, hey, there's some breaking news, right? Tekashi Snitch 9 got more prison time. So I'm gonna before I sign off, we're gonna talk about this thing involving Tekashi Snitch 9, right? This is some breaking news, right? Y'all get this breaking news right now as we talking about this particular video with CNN and Tekashi Snitch 9. So Daniel Hernandez, the rapper known as Tekashi Snitch 9, was sentenced in New York on Tuesday to a month and a half in prison for several violations of his supervised release. The sentence is slightly more than what federal prosecutors sought. Hernandez pleaded guilty to 5 violations, including traveling without permission to Las Vegas and Sarasota, Florida, twice failing to comply with drug testing, and testing positive for meth. So clearly the motherfucker didn't give a fuck, so he don't be in the process. But anyway, smash the like, hit the subscribe. Shouts out to the LDBC. This your man. Scream at me. Ho!